year is 1996. Woodford County is doing Woodford County things. One of those reasons is our guest here today. If you would, introduce yourself.
I'm Ian Horn from Woodford County.
And you are a three-time state champion, 1996, 1997, 1998. Now, of course, this is Ian's 1996 video. The 97 and 98 videos will be their own separate, as you guys are used to seeing on the channel. But Ian, man, thank you for having me down here today at your parents' beautiful home. Thank you. And it's been kind of a journey getting us together. So thank you for taking the time today and meeting with us.
That's kind of how it is with me, hit and miss. But I'm glad I'm able to make time for you today, and hopefully this is something special.
We've got a lot of Woodford County names on the channel you guys are familiar with. We got, of course, JoJo Carr, Chris Dunn, Joshua Campbell, Josh Whitaker. We have Rusty Parks. We have Cody done a 1969 video. Harrison Courtney. We have a lot of Woodford County guys. And like I've said in other videos, I've been across the state. I've been to Christian County, Wayne County, up in Walton, Verona, Woodford, Fayette County, Jefferson. And it seems like every place I go, Ian Horn's name gets brought up. You still, and what gets everybody talking about you is it's the really good wrestler that was awesome at soccer. That's why everybody's like, man, that guy from Woodford County, really good. He was awesome at soccer. He played soccer, I think, in college. Now, you played college soccer, right?
I played Division III soccer.
Okay, but where'd you play it again?
I played at Earlham College. It was a Division III school up in Richmond, Indiana.
That's awesome. Now, we'll get into your brackets. This is a little bit, but kind of walk us through, how do you find wrestling? How does wrestling find you?
You mean when I started?
Yeah, like what got you into wrestling?
I can remember in third grade, my dad took me to watch regionals. I did gymnastics at the time.
Okay.
And I wasn't any good at gymnastics, but there was a guy, I practiced with the boys team, even though I wasn't on the team. But there was this guy on there, I think his name was Max, and he wrestled for Frankfurt. And my dad took me to watch regionals that year. I was in third grade, and it was at Frankfurt High. And which is, a fun gym.
Right.
But I remember going to that. And then after that, I remember my fourth grade year, he started taking me to watch the high school.
Okay.
Which they were starting to get really good back then. And in fourth grade, they saw me wrestling on the mat with Joey Metcalf and with JoJo Carr. And they were just like, well, just come on out to middle school. And that's what I did. I was under 80 pounds, and I wore these little Diodora shoes, and I think I won one match that year.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah. And that match was a big one, man.
Hey, you better believe it. That got the ball rolling. So you start elementary school, and then I guess, do you wrestle on the varsity for Woodford like in 7th grade, 8th grade? Because we know Woodford was rolling then.
I don't really know how it all happened, but by the time I entered 6th grade, I don't know whether it's my dad convinced the coaches or if the coaches told my dad, hey, because JoJo was a year ahead of me, Joe Carr. And they said, well, JoJo, 7th grade, was going to go ahead and move on up to varsity. And so they said, he'll need a sparring partner. And I don't know if it was whether my dad convinced them or they convinced my dad, but they said, Ian, move on up. Right. And you'll wrestle with JoJo and you'll wrestle with the 103 pounders. And, because back then I was about 105, 110 pounds. And that's what I did. And I just, in 6th grade, I wrestled JV. I also wrestled middle school matches for the tournaments, but not for the dual meets and stuff. But that was moving on up into high school. And so by 7th grade, I may have wrestled a couple varsity matches. I know something like the WCI, Woodford County Invitational, which they had a Woodford County Gold team.
I remember those days.
And occasionally, in the beginning of the year, the first month, at least back in the day, it was all dual meets. And so they would throw anyone out there just to give them experience. And so sometimes I would get thrown out there against a team that we knew we were going to win. And I can't remember what year. Yeah, I think it was my 7th grade year also that Morgan Chapman.
Morgan Chapman.
He was a runner-up to Tom Seibel.
Okay, yeah, okay,
right.
Yeah.
He blew out his knee. at one of the tournaments, and so I came in and filled in for him at 119 or 130. I can't remember which, and I filled in for varsity at that weight class until he came back, which was like right before districts and stuff.
Okay.
But, I mean, they knew he was coming back, but he
Right.
had to have surgery. He blew out his ACL.
Oh my. Well,
And
that's good to get, varsity experience at that level. And we said it in JoJo's video, in case you don't know. You talk about JoJo going up and being his wrestling partner. JoJo was the first 8th grader to win a high school state championship in '93, and that video is on the channel. So that's pretty cool that you got to. I guess if JoJo won it in 8th, you'd have been in 7th.
Yeah. I mean, and that was the thing. JoJo and I were sparring partners for 6 or 7 years, and I was always, JoJo was always better. Mm-hmm. And so that was, that was the stigma of being at Woodford County and being being behind JoJo.
I mean, you talk about that might be the best practice partner combination the state's ever seen is JoJo, which people regard as the best high school Kentucky wrestler, 4-time state champion, and you, a 3-time state champion. That is probably the best.
We would wrestle. When the season would end, I would lift weights 3 days a week, all through the spring, and also after that, I would wrestle. JoJo and I would meet in the mat room and we would wrestle.
Okay.
With his dad's guidance.
Right.
And I don't know if you know the term situational wrestling, but we always did situational wrestling, and when we got into these situations, I would do a move. Mm-hmm. And we would go 1 move, 2 moves, and we go back and forth, and I would get a move on him, but I would never get that move again.
I can see that.
It was
I see that.
I could take him down once, and I would never take him down like that again.
I can see that.
He was the most frustrating partner to have because he was a little bit unorthodox in his style.
That's the beauty of this series is, we've heard the names Joe Carr, Ian Horn, Bruce Steff, all these Kentucky legends that we've heard for years. And if you just wasn't in the building, chances are you didn't get to see them wrestle. And now with this series, JoJo we went to their gym there in Lexington, Carr Wrestling Academy. We done his videos, and after I put them out, people's come up to me and been like, I've heard the stories about JoJo, but until I got to see him, I just didn't realize how good he was. I think in '96, he wrestled a kid from Caldwell County, pins him, just like he was tall, lanky.
Did he talk about the backstory with that?
Yes, he did.
How like 2 weeks ago he got thrown on his back?
Yep, he did.
So which was a rarity.
Yeah.
An absolute rarity.
Yep.
And that was the match right before I wrestled Hank Penner for the first time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And
that was a month before state tournament. And that was the first time I ever wrestled Hank Penner.
That Hoptown tournament back in the day must have been just the pre-state tournament. It had to be the pre-state finals.
Well, I think, Hoptown was on its way out.
Mm-hmm.
They were good. I think I'm not sure what years they were good, but they were evidently really good.
Well, this
was on the tail end of their.
We went down to Christian County and done Hopkinsville, Christian County guys. We done like 18 videos in a 2-day span, and Hoptown won the state title, team title in '85, '86, and '92. Christian County, I believe, won it in '88 or '89. In the years that like Christian or Hoptown, they were like runner-up 2 or 3 times as well. So
I think Willie Enos was the first state championship I ever went to watch at Athertown.
92 was Willie's senior year, and we're going to be meeting with Willie. That's a little tease to come. I think we found some video of Willie.
At the time, he was, and even afterwards, when I was still around, he was still, considered to have been one of the most natural, best athletes ever to walk the mat in Kentucky.
Willie still has a lot of name value. I mean, believe me, people across the state know who Willie Enos is the same way they know who Ian Horn is. Now, let's talk about your high school career just for a minute. 1995, I believe you come in, is it 5th place in 95? I've got it. Let me pull it up.
Is that my freshman year?
That would be your freshman year.
No,
yes.
I came in 6th.
6th place. Okay.
In '94, I came in 5th.
Okay, I got them backwards in. So you're coming in though as a 7th or 8th grader placing, and as a freshman placed him.
Yeah, 8th grade I placed 5th, and then freshman year I placed 6th. You know, it was.
Okay.
I still wrestled back to get into placing spot,
Right.
but it was a tough weight class.
Yeah.
Is his name Jason? It was Dominic Hawkins. Is that his name?
Dominique Hawkins that played at Kentucky basketball.
That's all right. It was a Dominic.
I'll have to look.
It was a Dominic. He was from Christian County, and he was hugely feared.
Oh, yes. Rodney Hawkins.
Rodney Hawkins.
Yeah, Rodney Hawkins. Rodney Hawkins.
Rodney
yeah.
Hawkins won.
Yep.
He beat the other Lee
Yep.
that year.
There was Mike and Matt.
Yeah, he beat Hank beat one Lee, and Rodney beat the other. And Rodney was something else.
Yeah, that I've actually got the video of that state finals. That's why I was able to recall that name. So 96, 145 pounds.
151. No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 96, 145 pounds. Let's go over your bracket as usual. You start off the day and you wrestle, or the tournament I should say, you wrestle Jason Hyde from Covington Scott, and it's got you winning by a decision of 16-10. So you get out, get what you need to get done, you win your match.
I was sick.
Okay, well.
I'd cut weight that was the only year I ever cut weight. And I was sick.
Okay.
I had a sore throat and a fever, and
just not feeling it, huh? I can
I
understand.
was lucky to get out of that match. I really was.
And, well, but you done, I guess, what you needed to do, 16-10 win. Then kind of a preview of the future, I guess, if you will. You're wrestling some guy named Brian King from Union County. Now, little bit of a tease, like I said, it might be a glimpse into the future. We're not really going to go into too much here. But you win by a 20-5 decision over Brian. So I'm guessing it doesn't say it, but I'm guessing that's a tech fall.
That is a tech fall. That was the 3rd time I wrestled him that year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wrestled him we were at state duels. It was the first round of state duels. We wrestled Union County. And he came out of that match and he took me down. And, being back in the, when you cut weight and you wrestle your first match, you're always kind of sluggish. But he came out with some fire, and I think I ended up getting a decision that day. But after I wrestled him at Hoptown, and I wrestled him again at the state, and by that time I was not taking him lightly. He was a good wrestler.
Yeah, that's, like I said, that might come back into play in 1997. So we'll just leave that one right there. So you get to the semifinals, and we're going to talk about this just for a second. The paper says you're wrestling Brian Elder from Valley.
And that might be, like I said, that might be true.
Okay.
That might be very well be true. I have a memory of someone else, but if it is that person, the match was still the same. I remember the match.
Okay. And this got you winning an 18-8 decision. So it's just sometimes I'm not saying our mind plays tricks on us, but sometimes things just play out maybe a little bit different than what we thought. We'll have to do some more digging.
The main thing I remember about that is false starting a couple times on what is it, referee's position?
Yeah.
That's what it's called. I remember false starting because I was nervous.
That
was my first year. My first year being in the semis, but yeah, I do remember the match.
Well, that's having the memory of the match. I guess is more important than as long as you won.
Yeah.
As long as you got the W at the end of the day, it's all that matters. Now, you go on to wrestle a person that's already on the channel, and I told you off camera that I didn't realize until I was cutting your video down for everything, editing, that you wrestled Hank Penner from Hopkinsville. Now, of course, Hank's coming in a returning state champion. And Hank, you were saying, I'll let you tell that, but Hank is a good wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah, I told Alex before this match, or before this video, that, back in the day, part of the Woodford County, philosophy or mantra was, you don't wrestle people, you make them wrestle you. And so when I wrestled Hank in Hopkinsville, but it was just a month before state tournament, and I did not watch the 1995 state final match where he beat one of the Lee brothers. I was there. And I remember vividly because he and Hawkins had incredible matches that year. They were pretty awesome. And after I wrestled Hank in Hoptown, a week or two later, they were watching the video of the '95 finals, and I watched Hank's match, and I was just like, man, I'm so glad I didn't watch that before wrestling him, because I would have been psyched out.
Yeah.
Because he was a really good wrestler. He was fast and strong.
Whenever we done this video, I'd never met Hank, and he come in, and there was probably 30 throughout the day we were there. There's probably 35, 40 people that milled in, and I was in front of the camera the whole time doing videos, and this guy come in that I'd never seen, and everybody's going up, talking to him, shaking hands and stuff, and the guys that set it up, Livingston Merritt and Damian Level, they come up to me and they were like, we got Hank here, and I'm looking around for him, and he's over there sitting by himself, quiet, not saying a word, and he walks up, and I'm like, Hank, and he just, very quiet, very, in the video, he doesn't speak a whole lot.
He was kind of like that. A lot of those Hoptown guys, they were pretty big personalities.
Yeah.
Someone like Livingston and Miguel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were very big personalities. But Hank, I don't remember. Other than his wrestling, I don't remember him as a personality. Later on, I found out his brother was a running back at UK.
Artus.
Is that his name?
I believe that was. Yeah. It was his brother or cousin. Artus played University of Kentucky. Played early 2000s.
Yeah. Certainly back in that era, Hoptown certainly had the athletic ability.
They were tough.
Hank was a total athlete.
Mm-hmm. And that was when I met with Rusty Parks from 2004. He was talking about the series, and he was like, I didn't realize Hopkinsville and Christian County had such good wrestling back then. And that's one of the beauties of this series as well, is bringing out the stories from the past, the wrestlers from the past. I'm not saying they've been forgotten, but just to have never gotten their just due. They just don't know about. And that's why I love getting to meet with guys like you and other people that...
Christian County certainly had... They were strong in the lower weights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't remember the names. Was it Tinsley? Is that one of them? Is that the guy that wrestled Andrew?
Tinsley wrestled for Caldwell County. He wrestled JoJo in '96 in the finals. That's the one JoJo threw.
That's Caldwell.
Yeah, Caldwell County, Tinsley, Andrew Tinsley.
Okay, I've got my counties and my schools mixed up.
No, it's all right. It's not a big deal. Now, have you seen your 1996 finals before?
Not in 20 years.
Okay, so it's been a while, huh?
Yeah. Oh. I used to have the videos at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen it in a long time.
This video has the face-off, it has the match, and it has the 1996 Team State Championship Award. It does not have the individual, but it does have the Team State Championship. Of course, you guys win the team title that year. You're on the team with JoJo, Chris Dunn, you. There's some studs on that team. A very well-deserving state championship team. So I'm excited to finally get to watch it and get your take on it. And we know that you're going to provide some good insight. Enough of us talking. Let's watch this video. All right, you guys are seeing what we're seeing. We're at the Dungeon in Frankfort. Now, we've said in other videos, but in case you don't know, Woodford County to the Dungeon in Frankfort isn't a very long trip at all. Did you guys graduate here? Is that correct?
Yeah, actually it is.
That's what I thought, because Josh Whitaker said that in his video that your all's graduation was held here. So it's kind of cool, you win 3 state championships, individual, plus you get to graduate here. And I've said it in every video for the Dungeon. This is the best atmosphere the KHSAA ever produced. Basketball, football, baseball, no matter what sport it is, under the lights at the Dungeon, by far, was the best atmosphere, and it's not even close. People that don't even like wrestling, never been to a wrestling meet or anything, they've watching the channel, and they're like, Alex, man, we didn't realize how awesome it was. Like the lights go down. I've posted a lot of the introductions on my Facebook page, and people, they're coming out from behind the curtain and the music and all that. It's like, man, this is awesome.
I hated that we used the Frankfurt mat, because it just seems so bright.
Yeah, it is. It is bright on video especially. But enough of us talking. Let's watch this, man. Now,
Dean Washington.
Yep.
That's Dion's uncle.
Oh, is it? Here comes Hank out, looking like a champ.
Because he was.
He was the defending. And you guys have the trademark hoods on.
Yeah, we're not supposed to show emotion or friendship or
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even shake hands. I always put my hand out straight like that.
Oh, really?
It was yeah. I got that from Robert Kemper.
Here we go. So, Ian, man, what's your go-to neutral positions? What are we looking to do for a takedown?
Without giving away trademark secrets.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure you know. If you've been at Car Wrestling Academy, you know our big thing is big three. You know, I'm in there in a shuffle stance or whatever that's called, not a square stance.
Right.
And I'm looking to post up on one side and get a fish hook on the other. Is that a fish hook? Is that what that was called?
Every place calls it something different. That's one thing I've learned about.
Yeah, see, I've got my left hand up on his his tricep, and I got my right hand working for faking for. But
Now,
you know, at this point, you know, he's coming at me pretty hard, and
Hank's
doing what I can.
Hank's an assassin. I mean, watch his '95 video, but you'll see it here. I mean, it's two really. This is a good state championship match right here because the two best are there. I mean, sometimes every now and then you'll get somebody that kind of flukes their way in or whatever, but you guys are the best.
Well, yeah, if you'll see here, you know, we go almost 6 minutes without a takedown.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're stalling. We're in the center of the mat.
You guys are wrestling. I mean, you are going at it.
And I remember Gene Washington, the referee, there, going up to my mother afterwards and saying, you know, that was a great match to referee because you know they were in the middle of the mat almost the whole time and they weren't stalling. But he had this signature duck under, which. As you look at there, I'm switching my head position.
Right.
And that was my main.
We're neutral.
You know, I didn't go defensive. Let's not say that. But my main counterpoint to his offense was my head positioning. But see, yeah, you gotta get that staggered stance. Working that right arm, trying to penetrate. He's pretty low right there.
Yeah.
He's not giving up much. And he's trying to slow me down, it looks like. He's grabbing up my elbow. He's trying to work that duck under. See, he's pulling me away. Or I'm
There, tries for it again.
He tries for it.
All right, end of the
That
period.
was 2 minutes?
That's 2 minutes.
We didn't leave the center.
I don't think you did. A couple times out of bounds, but you wrestled right in the center the whole time.
Yeah. So this... When we wrestled at Hoptown,
there you go.
I won the first choice,
Right.
and so
he gets his one.
Carr told me to go neutral, so he won the choice here, and he goes down. So you know, keep that in mind that you know Carr told me to go neutral against this guy, but since he won it this time, he went down, and so right now I'm down 1-0.
Right, 1-0.
I'm complaining about something, but I don't know what.
You got good movement too. You're not just like standing.
I'm trying to. The point is to lower that shoulder. Yeah, I mean he's coming in deep on me, and that's a very uncomfortable position for me right there. Having someone with an underhook or even pulling that right arm out.
Right.
It's very uncomfortable when you're trying to penetrate with your right side.
So, and yes, I do officiate with my hands when I'm watching. It's just a habit. I've been refereeing so long that I'm watching as I get into it, and I referee, hand signal along. So
at this point, we're still just fighting for hand position.
And it's still 1-0. I'm sorry, 1-0.
Yeah, he's up 1-0 because he got an escape. I was at the time I was terrible on top. I was always terrible on bottom. All right, so I got his leg. This is maybe the first time I actually have his leg, but he's trying to ride it out, and I think they either call us for
they call us
out.
And that was in Hank's video. He gets in his '95 video we done with him in Hoptown. He kind of gets in a couple bad spots, and he was just sitting there. Thing about wrestling, never stop moving, just like life. Never stop moving. I never stop moving. I was like, well, Hank, you're right. I'm not going to disagree with you. Good defense by him right there, keeping your head down.
Yeah. Yeah, he
really
was good
defense.
And I'm trying to make something out of it. I mean, they're trying to shuck him by or go for a sweep.
Right.
Get that far leg. I get it, but look at that. I'm working it.
You're
now,
circling
at this
like you're
point, I
supposed
don't
to.
know what happens. Oh, well, there you go. That was a really good angle on my part, and normally I would get that, but I mean he was very well balanced.
So you take down.
I take down
And Hank's holding on to that leg, holding on for dear life. You're trying to crossface. There you go. He trips down.
Yeah,
He tries to trip down.
Yeah, I'm comfortable when someone has my right leg. So, and I've got that. What's it called? The Shirella or the whatever.
You got your one. No. Yeah.
The crazy thing is, in Hop Town, I had 3 shots like that, and they all got called for takedowns.
Oh, really?
But that right there, I guess it was because back in the day, I guess you had to have everything in bounds, which evidently that changed.
More than what you have to have today.
Yeah, so at this point, I think we're both fighting pretty hard to win. Look at that. I shot, and he shoots.
And he's crunching
he's crunching down on the elbow, and then I'm getting my wizard. That's what that's called.
Wizard.
It's called
Yeah,
a wizard.
yeah, wizard. Your ability to circle out is really good. I mean, some of the best on video that I have. As of this filming, I will be doing an update video, but just so you know, I have acquired a few more years. I'm up to 26 years now.
Look at Parks. I don't know what he's mad about. Oh, because he sat down. I think he complained that he was out of breath or his shoulder was hurt. I don't know which. He's still coming at me though.
You've got, of course, Coach Parks and Coach Carr in your corner.
Bonnie Newell taking stats.
Yeah. Like somebody lost. I think Hank lost his headgear. All right, we're out. Put your headgear on, Hank.
Is that Barnes?
I don't know exactly. He's
young there. It doesn't look like Barnes, but
good shot right there. Good shot. You're in deep. That's probably the deepest you've.
Yeah, this is it right here. I get we call it a back door. I get that, and I come out the back door.
There it is. 2. So now
That's
it's 3-1.
There's 14 seconds left. I remember
really?
looking up at the clock, being 14. And we're both on our knees at this point. We're hanging on.
Gene's telling you guys to wrestle. Hank tries, almost a tilt there. That's it. That's it. Excellent match. Excellent match. Good wrestling.
It went a lot faster than what I remember.
That was quick. There you go. You got JoJo coming out. And then that is Livingston and Miguel getting the team runner-up. And then this is you guys. Of course, 94, 95, Sheldon Clark wins it. And you guys, it was 93. You guys won it, and you win it here in 96. Picking that trophy up. And I was in Woodford County's mat room. And, of course,
There's Rodney.
They got all the banners and everything, all the individuals up. So it's pretty
Look
cool.
how small Chris Dunn is.
Yeah.
Look at Chris Valentine.
So, man, there it is. The 1996 145-pound video. Did it play out like you remembered? Anything a little different? Or it was quick. Very quick match.
Yeah, it's like I said. Things that stuck out in my mind is that Gene Washington told my parents, he's like, it was one of the best matches for him to ref because there was no stalling.
Right.
We stayed in the middle almost the whole time. And we it was constant attack.
And
like I said, maybe I penetrated a little more, but Hank certainly had a lot of arm control and a lot of position control and he was tough.
Hank was good. And that's another thing, too, I've noticed about this is being able to travel around the state and listening to guys talk, like we done the Christian County, Coptown session with them, a couple other places we've been. We've done more than one guy at a time. Like we've done the Trinity video with Alex Ray, and the Memorial video is different schools wrestle different styles. Hoptown, they had their own unique style. You guys, Woodford County has their own unique style. Whether it's what you're doing on offense, what you're doing when you're down, what you're doing when you're trying to get a turn.
Yeah, with Hoptown, I mean, like I said, their heyday, I wasn't around, but from the wrestlers that they had around when I was, it's not like they had a style of wrestling other than the fact that they were just pretty awesome athletes.
Yeah.
That they were just awesome athletes.
And I will say this, and we'll wrap it up because we'll go on to '97. Is we were doing, I don't remember which, it may have been Hank. Hank played football, and Coach Tony Harris, all respect for Coach Harris, he done a video with us, 1974 state champion, but he was one of the Hoptown wrestling coaches, and I think he was also like the football coach, and he said, talking about all the football players they had on the wrestling team, and they said they just went through the football locker room and just picked guys out. Hey, you're wrestling, whether you like it or not. Come here, you're wrestling. So that's how they pretty much filled their team, was football players.
Yeah, the athletes. They picked
they
picked the fastest, the strongest, the quickest.
And according, and Hoptown guys, we know, you love you, but according to Hoptown, the biggest sporting event in the history of the world took place in Hopkinsville when Tim Couch come and played Hopkinsville against Miguel Merritt. It was Battle of Mr. Football, and at the Stadium of Champions. That is the biggest sporting event the world's ever seen to the Hoptown guys.
That's fun. That's really funny because I guess I was maybe a sophomore, freshman or sophomore in high school when Tim Couch. I think I was a freshman and he came to us. Mm-hmm. And then my sophomore year, I think we went to them down to Leslie County, and that was a huge event where thousands of Woodford Countyans went down to watch
I
Tim
believe
Couch,
that.
even though I think we lost 77-7 or something.
Oh my
goodness. I mean,
and,
it was a shame that he didn't have a great pro career, but he, that, and you remember the Tim Couch Peyton Manning game?
Yeah, oh yeah,
it was something like 65 to 45,
Yeah.
but it was touchdown after touchdown on both sides.
And
anyway, we digress.
Yeah, no, we digress. Now, that's all we've got for 1996. Of course, Ian's a 3-time. We're going to do his 97 and 98 videos. The 97 video we're going to talk about because we've been able to meet some people that we didn't know before because of this series. We've become friends with them. So that's all we got for 1996. Ian, let's go to 1997. We'll see you there.
See you there.